how we scaled the brand $153,000 in 30 days. Today's gonna be a fun one because on this channel, I pull back the curtain and show how my team at Right Hook Digital scales brands so successfully. And today is a really great one. This brand, in 30 days, we grew them $153,000, which is actually a 200% increase from the previous month, but then over the next 4 months, scaled them another $1.7 million. So I'm gonna reveal how we did that, reveal the creative, decision-making, the things that we did to scale the brand. I do this on my channel 3 times a week, so make sure you subscribe and hit that bell to be notified when I release new strategies and tactics that you can employ in your brand or in your business to scale using meta ads. All right, let's dive in. So how we grew a brand $153,000 in 30 days. So this brand, they came to us because they're a highly seasonal business, so make sure you take that into account, very seasonal, but they have been declining for the last 2 years. They had their peak during 2020, during COVID, which a lot of brands did too. So that whole year, you kind of just have to write it off. And so ever since then, they've been on the decline. So when they came to us, we had some challenges. And these challenges, we overcame using 4 strategies. The first one was, how can we unlock trust? And there's a strategy we use to do that. The second strategy was, how can we unlock incentive for people to buy the product? The third, how can we unlock creative strategy to make it feel either new or actually interesting? Because the product, it is interesting, but at the same time, it's very common. And then the fourth one is, what are the strategies we use inside the meta ad account to scale this brand? And I'm gonna show that to you. So the first one was, how do we unlock trust? Trust is really hard. You need trust for someone to buy your product because the majority of people who see an ad, they don't know that brand. And so you have to have some kind of trust indicators to get them to buy. Now, how do you do that? Well, some form of social proof. They see someone else talking about the product. They see it featured in some article, some PR site, whatever that is. The other way is through reviews. So based on the decline that brand had, and it's highly seasonal, we identified that a big problem is it's not getting attention. It's converting someone and convincing them to buy. So what we wanted to do is we wanted a way to build trust because this brand had very little reviews on their site. So what we did is right when we took them over in the middle of August, early September, we went on a sprint, a blitz really, to build trust. And that was in the form of reviews. Our thinking was that the website didn't have enough recent reviews, and frankly just didn't show the amount of customers who liked that product. So what we did is we did a sprint. So we actually used judge.me, which is a review platform. We did a blitz on their entire customer list to get them to leave a review. They had over 17,000 customers who had bought from them in the past 365 days that very little actually left a review. So what we did was we, over the next several months, sent many emails to get them to leave a review. I think as of right now, making this video, of the 17,000 new customers, we got over 300 of them to leave a review. And what's even crazy is of those 300 people, 10 to 15% actually left a photo or video review that we could use in our ads. So that was the first strategy. We had to unlock one, social proof, but also trust. And that was in the form of reviews, doing that blitz. So the second strategy was unlocking the incentive. So once we started getting reviews coming in, the reviews are favorable, cool. So now we know when people come to the website, they're gonna see all the recent reviews and know that this is products that people actually want. Cool, check that off. The second one was, how do we unlock incentive? So this particular business, they're highly seasonal, but they live off new customers. Frankly, they're a brand that has to get new customers because people aren't gonna buy many of these products every single year. It's more like they will buy several their first time, but they're not gonna keep buying again unless it's like for a gift. So that was what we had to unlock. How can we unlock new customers? Because if this brand lives off new customers and they gave us a very aggressive revenue target, we had to come up with some way to have a breakthrough. So how we did that was through unlocking an acquisition offer. So how we did that was we came up with an offer, and I'll show you how this works out, of buy 2 for $55. So one of these products by itself is $40. So 2 for $55 looks very attractive. But then also it makes it very easy because majority of people are happy to spend $55. It's not that big of a stretch for the majority of America. They go out to eat and spend $55 at the drop of a hat. So we knew the offer was pretty good. So we had to just make sure the offer, the math makes sense. And I'm gonna show you what that looks like. This particular product right here, here's how the margins stack out. So the retail price is $39. And when you break out all the costs, which you should be doing that, you come up with a 63% gross profit. Now for $39, that's not very great when you're trying to advertise on Meta or on Google. But here's what's crazy, is that if you don't do this, and if you don't break it out this way, problem is you don't know all the costs that go into it. So when you want to do an aggressive offer, you don't know the math well enough. And so when I say we're going to do 2 for 55, a lot of people think that, oh man, that means we're taking their cost of goods cost right here, the $14, and they're doubling it. But that's not how the math makes sense. And that's why acquisition offers mathematically make a lot of sense, because for giving away just a little bit of margin, you can significantly increase the conversion rate that people that see that ad, and also it can give you just a little extra margin to scale. Let me show you what I mean. So let's take the exact same product, and now we'll do the 2 for $55. So now you've increased the retail price. Your cost of goods did double because that's the hard cost of the goods. It did double, but your pick and pack only marginally changed because if a person is packing the same order, they just have to turn around and grab another one, right? It doesn't really increase the cost. And then it slightly increases your gateway cost, your other costs stay the same, and shipping stays the same because for this product, you can throw it into the same bag or box because it's not that much extra weight to really matter. How the math shakes out is that while your COGS did go up, the other costs didn't. And so you're giving away just a little bit of margin. So what's that? About 10% of margin. And what's crazy about that is now your break-even point, which is your gross profit, goes from $19 to $24. So that means you have an additional almost $5 you can spend ads on, or if you can keep the cost to acquire a customer the same, that's an additional $5 of margin per order. And what's crazy, and we do this all the time, we do a lot of acquisition offers, is that when you look at 2 for 55, you maybe think, man, that's not that much money. But here's what's crazy, is consumers will buy more than one set. There's another brand that we worked with for 3 years where we do this kind of strategy all the time, where we'll do 2 for 45 or 2 for 60 or 3 for 95, but that's not how the AOV shakes out, because typically 10 to 20% of people who see this offer and buy it will buy more than one set. And that's where you get the extra cream on the cake. So in that exact same period that we scaled this brand, their AOV wasn't $55. It was actually $67, 21% higher than the offer. Because again, 10 to 15% of people were buying more than one set to give away, different colors, different patterns. And that's why an acquisition offer, while personally we love it so much, is because a big portion of people are gonna upgrade and do a lot more of it. So what's strategy number 3? Strategy number 3 is using creative. So we had to find what is a fun way that we can show this product, that we can deliver an advertising that can display the benefits of using that product, but also, full transparent, we'll create an impulse buy, because this product frankly is an impulse buy and it's a gifting buy. So these are the 2 ads that really cracked the account for us when we first took over in those 30 days. We had a static, which makes sense. And you can see the social proof is incredible in a video. Now this video I want to play for you. This video is fun, but we also tied in pop culture into that video.
Sweatpants with
Let's
feet?
take a look.
I love it. Cozy Sherpa lining? I love it more. Get 2 for 55 for a limited time.
I love it. Very simple ad, but it's fun, entertaining, and in a very simple way demonstrates the usefulness of the product, which is frankly sweatpants with feet and putting it on. There's a whole other video that I've made on how to make a good ad, so you're welcome to reference that. But a good ad demonstrates the usefulness of the product. So the creative strategy was frankly leaning on the offer, because the offer is the main point, but then number 2, demonstrating the product. What we did is we diversified. So we took those concepts that scaled and we created other concepts. I'm not gonna play the videos, but these are other 2 videos that use the same concept, same things that worked, but we made iterations of it, and that kept scaling. So you can see the spend receipts right here. We just kept making different variations and versions of that ad. And a lot of these ads spent a lot of money behind these one ads. And that's why it worked, is once we had a really great concept that our team came up with. By the way, shout out to Travis on our team. It was his team that scaled this brand. Is once you have that good creative strategy that's working, you can keep iterating on it. And those iterations are what scale this brand. Media buying, next strategy. So what worked here is, if you follow my previous videos, I've outlined how we do our media buying. So we buy into the philosophy of having, at the moment, a campaign for testing and a campaign for scaling. But then when you have either a new product launch or you have a seasonal sale, we'll break that out into its own campaign. And the reason we do that is because we can control the budget better for that particular item. So for this particular case, we knew we're going to do a 2 for $55 acquisition offer. So we call a bolt-on campaign. We have one campaign following our same methodology, but because we can control the budget way better on that. Now, these other two campaigns, the scaling and the testing, those are more evergreen, but because this is an offer, we had a campaign just for that offer. What worked really well here is manual bids. We've been playing with manual bids a lot, actually bid caps with our brands, and we're finding interesting things. The first thing we're finding is that bid caps allow us to better throttle towards the CPA that we need. So CPA being cost per acquisition. And why we like it is because while you may not get as much scale, or in this case, it did get as much scale, but it really helps us to stay within that ballpark and just have less volatility. So if you ever run highest volume, which is essentially a campaign without bid caps, the volatility is all over the place. But why we like bid caps is we run them in conjunction with the highest volume campaign or ad set. It allows us to have less volatility to maintain a certain cost per acquisition, because this particular brand, they frankly live off of a new customer acquisition. They don't have a great returning customer rate. So for this particular brand, we have to be very anal to maintain a certain CPA to make sure it's profitable. But if you have another brand where you have a great LTV, you can be okay with volatility because you have a great returning customer rate. So what we did is we had one main ad set that was going mainly broad, and that was highest volume. And then we had two ad sets where we were playing with the bid cap. So this one was way higher than our CPA. Both were actually. But then you can see this one being 31, this one being 51. It allows us to actually maintain a cheaper cost per acquisition than the highest volume. You may be asking, well, why didn't you just turn off the highest volume and leave those two on? The reason why is because, again, it was highest volume. So we look at it as a macro. If as a macro at this campaign level, we're maintaining a certain CPA, we're okay with that. And frankly, we wanted the balance of both getting high volume plus having these campaigns to help offset any volatility that was being created in this campaign. All right, that is the strategies, the 4 strategies we use to scale this brand to $153,000 in 30 days. Now, a couple of things you need to keep in mind is sometimes you don't need a lot of fancy tricks and tactics to scale a brand. A lot of times you just need to review the product, review, okay, how can we get people interested to buy more? How can I get more attention? And how can I keep my ad account as simple as possible to do that? These strategies I showed you are not crazy. They're not revolutionary. It just took thinking the right way, pulling the right levers to make that happen. Make sure you subscribe, hit that bell. Like I said, every single week, I am showing the strategies we use to scale brands. If you're interested in working with us, in the description below is a calendar link. You're more than welcome to schedule a call, meet me personally, and jam to see if we're a right fit. All right, see you in the next video.